Are you guys excited for the Epstein list to come out? Supposedly,
No, I think it's
because
gonna-
they're not
It's
gonna do
already come
anything
out.
with
We already
it.
know so many people on the list. And the problem is, like, maybe it actually is a step in the right direction because, like, even 20 years ago, people would have said that Epstein is never going to get in trouble and nothing's ever going to come from it. But the fact is, people who were persistent, people who were willing to say, like, people who were willing to stand against the mainstream and say, no, there is a ring of pedophilic elite who, you know, get blackmail on each other by putting them in situations where they have sex with minors so that they can control what they say and what they do. This is a real thing. Like, even 20 years ago was considered a controlled conspiracy theory, but now everybody knows who Jeffrey Epstein is. The big meme is, oh, he didn't kill himself. And even if it takes another 30 years, it would be unfortunate because people should face consequences for doing something so evil. But if it comes out, it ultimately is for the best.
It's going to be a very curated list.
It's funny.
Yeah,
because
isn't it like
Andrew,
I agree.
it's
But
gonna
I
be
think it's a step
redacted.
in the right
Now.
direction because, like I said, even 20 years ago, nobody would have ever said, even the list would have been considered. Nobody would have been talking about it. Nobody would have been doing anything about it. So who knows what it means in another 10, 20 years? Well, who knows? Like, it's any step towards fighting against this level.
Will Bill Clinton be on this list?
Yes,
He is on the list. We know he's on the
I know,
list.
but will he be officially
he
on?
is the list.
Yes.
yeah, but you know what? You know who I think is not probably on the list is Donald Trump, because if he was
He's
on the list, they would have destroyed him.
He's on the list, but not the Lolita Island list. And also, we have to remember, and I will make sure that it's said on this podcast, that Donald Trump was one of the only people in the elite who, when they found out, when Jeffrey Epstein was hitting on people at Trump Tower, Trump was the one that said, oh, he's doing sketchy shit. He went to the FBI. He was the one who said, I no longer affiliate with Jeffrey Epstein. He's no longer welcome at any of my facilities. The list that he came out on was it traveling from New York to Florida or Florida to New York, I'm not sure, but the only list that I fundamentally care about is, and I keep saying the word fundamental, I don't know why that keeps coming up, but like the only list that I care about is Lolita Island. The only list I care about is child rape island.
They're going to put Trump on the list because for political reasons. That's the only reason they're even releasing this list now, is so they could put his name on there and anything to hurt him. They're going to put him on the list because he borrowed a ride like on his plane, but never to the island. It was just, that's what.
Well, it's like guilty by association. If you ever
would
take
they
a
have
picture
him
with
on
somebody.
just to like devalue the other name?
Exactly.
Yeah, and well, I mean, I've heard that there's a lot of like people's names
well, we
on there
can't
that
count
like
anyway,
never
'cause Trump is
went
on.
to Lolita Island. Like they never went to like that thing, but
They're going to mix it up together just to muddy the water and be like,
Right.
these people are on his plane, and it's like that's not the same thing as being on the island with kid. Like, but they're gonna that's what I feel like they're gonna do. There's gonna be a big suck out where they're gonna give everybody who was ever on this guy's plane, which is a lot of people, because they run in these circles where they share private jets, and it's just the way it's done. And they'll be like,
the people that we should be concerned with, we don't know their names. We don't know who they are. We don't know where they are. And like Jeffrey Epstein, while he is like a big player in all of this, is just a pawn. He is not even he's not a rook. He's not a knight. He's not a major player in all of this. And that's what people need to acknowledge. They offer him up as the sacrificial lamb so that they can make, they can save face and say that they're making progress against fighting this kind of thing while it's still totally going on in the background. I'm still also of the fundamental belief that like Jeffrey Epstein may not even be dead. Like
I think you're right. He's a CIA agent. He was set up by the CIA to get as much dirt to control,
and they were
the
police, the CEOs that were in charge of watching his cell never faced any criminal charges. Gee, I wonder why that is. Maybe because there was nothing criminal there in the first place, and it was just a giant cover up so that we would stop talking about it. But guess what? He's a meme now. He is a meme, and everybody knows that meme. Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself, lol. But there's still people whose names we don't know. There's still children who are being abused. There's still women who are being abused. There's still, trafficking networks of all kinds, whether or not they're affiliated to Epstein's Island. But that is a focal point that people should still be talking about.
Yeah, he came out of nowhere and was installed as this guy, and he befriended every fucking rich, powerful politician, actor, any power broker possible. they were collecting information and blackmail material on everybody they could. He's an agent. People are saying Mossad. It might be Mossad. It might be CIA. It looks more like, to me, I think it's CIA. But
well, I think
a little bit of
Mossad
column
is
A,
like
a little bit of column B. Okay.
yeah. Well, you know, that's a thing. Like a lot of it is blackmail. Like they'll take an influential person, or like allegedly they'll take an influential person and they'll wine and dine them, and they'll say, we'll fly you to this private island and you get introduced to a hot young girl, and they say you wake up in the morning hungover, like coming off of whatever drug you're on, and they're like, we got a video of you having sex with a 12-year-old girl, 15-year-old
well,
girl.
that's every room.
And now you're going to say everything we want you to say. You're going to do whatever you want because this will ruin your life. So, like, that's a big part of it.
Well, that's why I also believe, like, I don't even think you can get
so why
on
would
the
they have that
ticket.
come out?
What's that?
So why would they have that come out if the people, if the powers that be have this set up to control people, they wouldn't let the accurate list come out. I'm very
I'm with you. I don't
think they would either.
It is distraction. Like I said, to distract people, like you just need a nugget of the truth. But you still need to include something that's true in there, because that way people can point to it and say, oh, the rest of this might be legitimate because this part is true and provably true. That's the best kind of lie. That's the best kind of cover. And like I said, that's why we know Jeffrey Epstein's name, because there are people who are way darker and way more entrenched in this than Jeffrey Epstein. And it's very unlikely that we're going to know any of their names anytime soon if we, don't figure it out like long after they're dead.
Wesley Snipes is way darker than him, and I don't know
Kevin
if he was.
Spacey.
John Legend is way darker than him. He's on the list.
And I don't know if he was a passenger on the Lolita Express, but he was passenger 57. So
apparently Michelle Wolf is on the list.
Oh, that explains so much.
Maybe they're just doing like
good for her.
Do you think that they got her like a 13-year-old boy, or was it like?
I don't know.
Or
it's
she
like,
facilitated
you wonder how
helping
some people
bringing
get
people.
plucked out to be famous. Some don't.
Yeah, it's wild too, because I watched a set of her stuff
Okay,
before.
my
It's
internet's
sort of the
pretty
same
fucked.
way I feel about Aziz Ansari. I remember, like, I understand that comedy is subjective, but I just don't get it. I tried. I watched an entire special. I sat through the whole thing. I don't think I laughed out loud once. And I kind of feel the same way about Michelle Wolf. Like, it's odd to me that you see this stuff and you're like, all right, okay, but they're so famous. How did this happen?